Hi, welcome back to Weekly Thought Fuel with Keith and Sarah at the Leaders Lyceum. We are in the middle of a series on the stages of adult development. We've covered levels 2 and 3, so if you haven't seen those yet, go back and watch those. Today we're going to introduce you to level 4, which is a more effective way to lead, kind of what we're hoping everybody is growing towards or already in. So why don't you give an overview of what level 4 looks like?
In contrast to level 3, which was very outside in, level 4 in a nutshell is very inside out. I've taken ownership of who I'm going to be, what I'm going to believe, what I'm going to hold to be true, how I'm going to deal with circumstances, what is appropriate for my behavior. It's where we start to see what we often talk about is like integrity or authenticity, like knowing who you are. But in a nutshell, Sarah, it's inside out. It's an inside out understanding. It's a grounded understanding.
So we talk about this, the transition from 3 to 4 is kind of this effectiveness transition. So can you give some maybe specific examples of why leaders at level 4 are more effective?
Yeah, well, I think if most of us think about people who we think as effective, who have influenced us in our own lives, we recognize their groundedness. We recognize the confidence and certainty that comes from that. And the thing is that confidence and certainty is not gained in a vacuum. It's gained over 20 years of experience of the transition between 3 and 4. And so most people who grow to level 4 have come up with a very effective way of leading others because they've incorporated mistakes that they've made. We've talked about challenge and contradiction driving vertical development. And so level 4 is won. It's won through great difficulty. It's not easy to get there.
So there's a level 5 after level 4, which means there might be some downsides to level 4. There's something that we want to still grow past. So what are the kind of growth opportunities or downsides of level 4?
Yeah. So level 4, first of all, is mostly positive. What we mostly see from level 4 people, especially during our working years, all the way up into our 60s even, is characterized by effectiveness. But when we self-author or go inside out in our way, our paradigm, how we understand the world, what happens if we don't grow beyond level 4 is we start to get fixed. And we can be perceived by, not only perceived by others, we can become dogmatic. It's like
very rigid.
It becomes a more rigid expression, even though it's inside out. So
it's, if level 4 is becoming inside out, you've now spent your whole life developing this inside out way of being that you maybe now say, this is it, I'm not going to move.
Yeah.
Right? So that
could
be...
And folks, you get this, but there's a lot of support mechanisms to keep us level 4. What you've been doing has been working. You probably have gotten promoted. You probably are making more money. You probably bought a bigger house.
Success,
so there's success, and so it's like I can't let go of that, right? And when we get to level 5, I think when we get to level 5, we're going to talk about you got to let go of this to keep growing.
So like you said, level 4 is mostly positive, so it sounds like what makes level 4 great is that it is this kind of grounded, I know who I am, I'm going to make decisions that I can stand behind, not be swayed by the circumstances, right? As long as we don't get so stuck in the mud that we're unable to move.
Perfectly captured.
Great. So next week, we're going to come back and give you some more information on leader levels, the growth, how this whole process works out. So we'll see you then.
See you then.